YouTube error. So the question is, are we live? I guess I better look. Yes, YouTube error or not. It says we're live here on the YouTube and on Facebook. Yes, we are. Let me change the announcement scheme here on Facebook. And put this little mini episode up as an announcement. This is an awkward shot. At least an awkward shot to talk into the camera on. All right. There we go. I'm going to make this an official podcast. I guess I am. Give it a number and everything. And if it's going to be an official podcast, it needs this. From the studio, in the bonus room, above the garage, on the north side of Cary, at the foot of Mount Belzoni, this is the Triangle Talk Show. Couldn't grab the thing to hit the triangle fast enough. Didn't prep well enough. There we go. I'm Gary Pierce. I'm a melting snowflake here in the incredible summertime heat. And this is episode 104. It's a mini episode. It's going to be short. So just this won't take too long. Episode 104, July 27th. That's 2 podcasts in 2 days. That's not too bad. PRO&TEST on Davis Drive. So Trump came to town today. I don't care so very much about what Trump came to town for. More interested in the reaction of the town, of you people out there, to his coming. I guess these days I'm in protest mode, in activist mode. In activist mode. Or inactivist mode may actually be more accurate. I don't know. Anyway, Trump came to town, and okay, my technology is fighting me. What is going on? There we go. Here's what I wanted to look at. So desperately trying to get on the screen. For those of you on the video portion of the program, I'm not going through the whole boilerplate. Don't even have that written out in front of me. So Trump arrived here in the airport, RDU airport. He made his way to this place called Fujifilm Diosynth Biotechnologies. Somehow, they've got an entrance on Davis Drive, and they've got a whole separate bunch of buildings that are not connected to the one that's on Davis Drive except by a little walkway. To get there, you have to go up McCrimmon Parkway and then this Harris Mill Road. Okay, got it. And then up J. Morris Commons Lane, little dead end street that gets to the other version of Fujifilm Diosynth. So Trump was going to come to one of those, and nobody really knew which one, and no one knew which route he was going to take. So I was curious where the people who were coming out to either greet him or protest were going to be. Were they going to be lined up here on Davis Drive? You know, somewhere along here on Davis Drive, there's a nice bike path, Greenway, sidewalk thing right along here. And so if he was going to go in there, then this is where you would want to be. On the other hand, if he was going to go to this other complex, then maybe this here on Harris Mill Road is where you would want to be. And nobody seemed to know. Nothing I saw on TV or in the newspaper gave me a good clue as to where he was going to be. So I grabbed my trusty video camera. I was going to show it to you, but I didn't bring it over here. I got a little one. And headed out over there to drive around and see what was going on. I looked at the territory on Friday, and I didn't see anything that was going to tell me where he was going to be. So I drove out there today around 1 o'clock, 1:30, somewhere in there. He was scheduled to get here about 3 o'clock, arrive at RDU Airport around 2:30 or so, and get here, get to where he was going at the Fujifilm Diosynth at around 3 or so. Stay until 4 and then departed about 4:30. Sort of a quick hit and run. So I drove over there, and the first place that I got on this little video, because I was also curious as to where people were going to park. There's a parking lot here, big parking lot for a shopping mall with a Harris Teeter, two guys in there, great clips. They call it McCrimmon Corners. So there'd be plenty of room to park in there in the big parking lot, public parking lot. And then the other spot was maybe here along this street called Little Drive. And that is where I began my video. So you can see, look at a shot here, still shot showing my phone, and I was located on Little Drive, right up from Davis Drive. And this video is about 10 minutes, so we'll go through and take a look. Assuming I can make it play. I think it's playing. Yeah, it's going to get going here in a second. So coming down Little Drive, and a lot of people got there before I did. And parked on both sides of the street. And that's the first little group of folks at the corner of Little and Davis. And then coming down Davis, going southbound, you can see a lot of Trump people on that Greenway sidewalk that I was telling you about. And we just passed basically what would be the entrance. It would have been off to the left. And this is a couple hours, an hour or so before Trump was supposed to get there. More people slowly walking up. These people are walking up from the parking lot where that Harris Teeter was. That sound is my police scanner in the background. I was trying to listen to whatever traffic I could pick up. I only heard the airport guys. Okay, so there, let me back up and show you that map again. So there I am now on that, what is it, Harris? Okay, I already don't remember what the name of that street was. And I'm never going to find it again. Anyway, this is the street that's going up to the other entrance, and take a look at what's going on there. And part of the street is closed off, and I don't know if I could have driven up past that police officer or not, but I decided not to try. Looks like it's kind of closed off. So I headed back over to Davis. Nothing really going on here, and I saw a lot of people over on Davis. So now I'm headed north on Davis, kind of the other direction. I saw, all the pro-Trump people up there on Davis before. I was wondering, well, were we going to see any protesters? And I backed up again on the video here, and there they are. That's going to be the anti-Trump contingent, and there looks like they parked down by the Harris Teeter, and they're walking up. So they stayed in late. The pro-Trump folks got up early. Well, early-ish. This is all afternoon. It's hot. It's above 90 degrees. There's the entrance again to the Fujifilm Diosynth, and you're not going in there. And the same group we looked at a minute ago, sitting on the corner. Another run past the folks going south on Davis Drive. This Trump contingent is getting bigger all the time. And now walking up the sidewalk toward them is the protest contingent. I don't know if you can read those signs very well. It's I can't read them very well. Let me get a little bit closer. Oh, rent freeze now is the sign that I can read most in the beginning. I think there's going to be another couple here. Black Lives Matter, as you might expect, and a banner I can't read. We're going to get closer to all those in a little bit. So I decided that I was going to stop, park, get on my feet and walk up the Greenway from the Harris Teeter. It didn't look like it was going to be that far. It's less than a mile, probably more like a quarter mile, maybe a half mile at most. Just took a few minutes to walk up there. And there's some folks that are on their way up there, and they're just getting behind the folks that are setting up their protest. They've finished walking up the sidewalk as I was parking, and they're setting up their protest. They got a drum. So Black Students Matter. So I'm walking up behind them on the Greenway, and I'm going to walk around and get them from the other side. Rent freeze now. You can't vaccinate fascism. COVID relief for all. Essential workers are not expendable. Here's the big banner. People over property. Care of people over property.
The government's lying. The government's lying. The government's lying.
Your president said injecting disinfectant was the cure. Free testing. The video's breaking up a little bit. And screw you, Trump. Okay, so that's what they look like. Black Lives Matter banner. A guy was wearing like a cape. So that's what their protest looks like. Here is coming up at the south end, up Davis Drive, just a little bit of the Trump side of things. And I'm going to take this video and spin the camera around just to show you I guess I call it the buffer zone between the two groups. Now, there's no police over here, no police on foot, nobody attempting to maintain this separation or this distance. That's just the way they lay themselves out. Occasionally, someone from one camp would walk through the other and holler a little bit, but not so much. As you are seeing and maybe hearing, the Trump side is not quite as noisy, but they are much, much, much bigger. A lot more people, probably 4 or 5 times as many. Their signs look a bit more. Signs look a little more professional. Okay, there was the one guy. We'll listen to our Trump 2020 guy again here.
Trump 2020.
Yeah, to which I respond, Trump 2020, Biden 2021. And here's one of the few protesters that are invading the pro-Trump territory. A guy walking past with a Nazi go home sign, showing it off for the Trump crowd. I think somebody else is going to holler Trump at me.
Trump 2020. 2020, Trump! Trump!
Yeah, keep hollering. And I got a little tired of all the video of that, so I sped things up as I continued to walk up the Greenway past all the Trump people. Sorry for the bouncy. It's extra bouncy because it's sped up, but I'm not sure because it's not always extra bouncy. That's pretty much what I hear from the Trump folks anyway. It's just chatter.
They may go off. We don't even know.
Okay, I'm going to back up and start that part again. Somebody sort of spoke to me from the side. I was noticing that maybe there was, maybe I was seeing somebody in this crowd that was starting an argument, and so I pointed my camera at that direction. And somebody who was just off camera to my left was telling me to get that video. So it's coming up. The backup goes back 5 seconds. Can't change that.
Yeah, we need that because they may go off. We don't even know if they have mock cocktails in their freaking backpacks.
Mock
and
cocktails.
Grandma at that.
They have what in their
I
backpacks?
don't know. What do you call them? Gasoline things in the water bottles.
Those girls?
I don't know. Mock cocktail.
You don't know, but you're gonna speculate
I have no clue. It's just what it's always talked about
on where?
on your news media.
Which one?
WRAL, ABC.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, just
they say
go
that-
away.
they
Go.
say
You
that-
must be with them. Go up there. You're not American. You're not for Trump.
I'm not
You're
American?
not.
You have to be for Trump to be American?
You don't act like you're in America. Yeah.
How am I acting?
Obviously, race baiting.
Asking
Me.
questions?
Yeah. Okay. Talk to the hand. Go away. Go sit with those people right there. They're more your speed. Your anger in your eyes. Crazy look in your eyes. That's all I know. We all know.
Checking for crazy look.
Crazy eyes.
Yeah.
Crazy eyes.
Kinda,
Don't
yeah.
worry. Don't worry. When it all
Yeah.
comes and is said and done, y'all are going first, not us. Yeah, he must be MS-13, Antifa, BLM. BLM doesn't even have any black people in the
You might not have been able to quite catch that. She was saying BLM doesn't have any black people in their movement anymore. They do, but it's kind of nice that they've got some white people in the group too. Okay, so the next, I wasn't really intending to do an interview. I thought, maybe I would talk to some people, but she talked to me first. I wasn't really going to go invade her territory, but then I ran into somebody else, just kind of in the buffer zone in between. I ran into this guy.
How are you?
Good, how you doing?
Good, nice to see you.
So is this where he's coming in, or is he going in over on the other end?
We're not completely sure.
Yeah.
We're kind of standing in the middle so we can get from either side.
Okay, who are you with?
I'm with WRAL. I'm
right.
Joe Fisher.
Good to meet you, Joe.
Nice to meet you.
Gary Pierce. Not that Gary Pierce.
Gary Pierce, nice to meet you.
Little baby podcast called The Triangle Talk Show.
Gotcha. Is it online, Facebook?
YouTube,
Cool.
podcast download, Facebook.
Yeah.
So, your competition, basically.
You're our competition?
I'm
He got a little worried there for a moment.
Well, I agree. Friendly competition.
Yeah. It's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Have a wonderful day.
You could say, I always listen to the Triangle Talk Show podcast.
But I've never seen it. The next time we see each other, I'll be able to say that I've listened to it.
Excellent.
Are you hiring?
Yeah, but I don't pay
It's the
very well.
cameraman.
Well,
And you can see the technology difference.
yeah. Well, yours is probably better than this one, actually. This thing's a huge clunker.
Yeah.
Loud. I'm going to try to get out of the crowd just a little bit. If you've been watching for the better part of the past 10 minutes here on Facebook Live, you'll
doing
see
a
that there
Facebook
is
Live.
a couple of hundred, it looks like a couple of hundred, if not more, Trump supporters that are actually staged right across the street from Fujifilm Diosynth Biotechnologies. And behind me, you have what has grown from about 30 to maybe 50, 60 opponents of Donald Trump shouting things, some obscenities, but just chants against Donald Trump and that kind of thing behind me. We have seen some of these protesters before at some of the recent protests in downtown Raleigh. We passed by them. I did ask if they were with a certain group or if any of them wanted to talk. A lot of them just said that they didn't want to talk. They said no comment. So that's the situation that's happening right there. We have about 50 people that are keeping pretty far distance away. It looks about 50 or 60 feet from all of the Trump supporters that have showed up with their flags. They've been chanting 4 more years.
Fuck Donald Trump! Fuck Donald Trump!
Yes, fuck Donald Trump. So again, notice that first of all, no police at all in between these groups or among these groups, at least not marked, not uniformed. Probably were a few seated in there that were undercover. No stormtroopers. I was kind of wondering, were we going to get the stormtroopers in here? And we did not. These folks were a little, let me pause there for a moment. These folks were a little suspicious of me. The woman holding the Karens and Klan go hand in hand, and the other one with the blue umbrella. They were a little leery of me because, I'm an old white man, I'm, perfect central casting Trump material. So you put the hat on, put the mask on, and the crazy eyes underneath the mask. And they were a little bit worried. I spoke to the one briefly and gave her my business card, the Triangle Talk Show card, and said, don't worry, we're a left-leaning podcast. But I didn't try to get around them or anything. They didn't block the camera. They just kind of stood a little close to me with their signs and umbrellas and said, maybe not. Maybe don't get exactly the shot you're looking for. The helicopter is clearly government, police, because
They're waiting for you up there.
the territory, the airspace above this area was all restricted. Nobody, the TV helicopters couldn't be there. Okay, so this, and especially for the audio audience, this is a Trump supporter down on the corner, getting down close to the Harris Teeter again, and she is wearing a full-on elephant costume, like a Disney costume, covering her arms, covering her face, great big elephant nose, covering her legs. It's like 95, 96 degrees at this point. She had to be roasting. I really kind of wanted to ask her about it, but she's a Trump side, and I decided no, I'm not going to make a martyr out of her for all that suffering. But there she was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to have been awfully hot. She was in the shade. That helped. There's the Harris Teeter sign and some more people down here. So the question for them is, well, which side was Trump going to go to? If he was going to go down Davis Drive and go around up McCrimmon, then they would have had a chance to see him drive by. But if he was just going into that entrance that we saw before, right across from where the bulk of the people were, they were never even going to see him. And I'm pretty sure that's where he went in, based on what you'll see in a moment. But I went back over to the McCrimmon side of things. Okay, I insist on knowing what that street was. I just have to get myself back to that territory. I know where it is. Okay, yeah. There, McCrimmon Parkway, and what was that street? Oh, Harris Mill Road. I think I was remembering Harris. So, yeah, Harris Mill Road. So this is on Harris Mill Road, just coming up to the Morris Commons Lane, and where they've got it half blocked off. And in this case, this time they got some people that came out hoping that this is where he was going to come in. And this doesn't look like Trump people. This looks more like protesters, but I didn't get a good read on all the signs. And here, I'm back on Davis Drive, and I'm looking north, and this is just south of where the entrance is again, and they have traffic blocked off going north. They're going to divert everybody. So that's why I think that's where he went in. That's where they blocked it off, just north of the Harris Teeter. And let's go back to the map and see if I can figure out where that was. Yeah, I think that was the Parkside Valley Drive, and I think that's where they were turning people in. And it's just a little bit before you would get to the entrance to the Fujifilm Zone complex off of Davis Drive. So I think that's where it was. But there's a traffic light there. On Google Maps, doesn't show a traffic light, or does it? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay, there is one there. All right. So that's where we are, and that's where we're being turned around. So basically, they're closing Davis Drive at this point. And that's my big adventure. I think we're done. I got home. I didn't stay to try to see Trump drive by. I imagine the folks that were up right across from the entrance got to see him. If he saw anybody, he saw his supporters. The folks who were opposing him were a little bit farther down the street. He probably didn't see their signs and probably didn't hear their chanting, which is why I'm happy to put them on the Triangle Talk Show and get a couple people to look at that. Oh, what else did I want to show you here? Something. Yeah, something here from Joe Fisher, the WRAL guy. This is the Facebook Live post that he put up as he was talking, and a little bit later on in the day when I recorded it to make that little editing that I did, 290 comments, 29,000 views of his video that I showed you a little piece of. So Joe has a slightly bigger audience than I do. Joe, I don't think you have to worry about the competition from the Triangle Talk Show. I'm Gary Pierce, Snowflake, here melting in the summer heat. And this has been our little mini episode, but it still gets a number because it got the music and everything. Episode 104, an activist episode, Pro and Test. I'm not sure. I know what the pro part was. I'm not sure what the test part was, but it's the best title I could come up with on short notice. Pro and Test on Davis Drive. And that is it for this episode of the Triangle Talk Show. Over.